Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. A former senator's nephew cries police brutality at the St. Patrick's Day parade. WAPA employees protest over the weekend, and we go back to Ario Diaz as we feel the pain of Edna. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, the nephew of a former senator is alleging police brutality during the St. Patrick's Day Festival over the weekend. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this exclusive report with David Canton.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. We are here now with David Canton, and we're going to get right to it. It's about police brutality at the St. Pat's Parade, and you were near the brew pub, and we have YouTube video. And how's it slugged on YouTube?
It's slugged that I'm getting arrested, and
one man takes on the Virgin Island Police, VI cops or the department. All right. Nephew of a senator, former senator, Douglas Canton. You ever been arrested before?
No, never.
Never been in trouble with the law?
Never.
Tell us what's going on. What time is it and what happened?
Man, it was like 4 o'clock. Me and my friends were having a good time. We was partying, watching Kurt Sandler play, and it was really fun until like
Where were you?
At the brew pub, and I had this guy. He keep on putting his hand on me and tell him, "Take your hands off of me." I keep on putting his hands on my shoulder. I keep on moving his hands away from my shoulder. He get aggressive with me and hold me by my throat and slam me against the wall and start punching me in my face where my face is swollen here. I got cut, which I got 4 stitches in my lip.
A police officer.
A police officer. At the point in time, I did not know he was an officer. He was in plain clothes. He looked like a regular person who was celebrating St. Patrick's Day parade.
Why, first stop right there. Why did he do this to you?
I don't know. It's just, I think he was under the influence of drinking or whatever. Now, after he beat me, some other police ran in, grabbed me, took him off of me, slammed me on the ground, and tried to handcuff me. Now, my left hand could go behind my shoulder, but my right hand can't. I have a problem with my shoulder, and they forced my arm behind my back. I started struggling. I cried out that my right hand can't go behind my back. They still force. When they lift me up, they grab me by my bad arm, and I'm struggling because I'm in pain. And when you look on the ground, you see the puddle of blood. I was bleeding badly. They had me upside down, and blood was running in my mouth. I coughed. They dropped me on the ground. They put more force on me and bended me for my legs. I'm in so much pain that I went unconscious. I woke up in the hospital, not in the hospital, in the ambulance, thinking I'm in New York, in Long Island with my girlfriend. The police is getting too aggressive. It's real aggressive.
Saturated patrol, or not saturated, but St. Patrick's Day, let's face it, they are drunk people. One guy had a golf cart going down King Street. Another guy literally passed right out in the Winnebago there. And also one guy had a cherry picker. I understand. Look, it's a party time. Now, very important. You did blow and get blood tested for alcohol. Please tell everyone right now what was your level of alcohol.
It was 0. I was not drinking. I was not drunk. I was okay. I was
What
sober.
was the level?
0.
0.
I ain't had no alcohol in my system. I was okay. But to their knowledge, they told my parents that I was drunk. That's why they enforced that I take an alcohol test to find out I was not drunk.
All right. Now, you found us today. Why did you come with this Channel 8 exclusive for tonight?
Because I want the public to know how I feel and how I feel discriminated with the police. We're supposed to be looking towards the police for help, not running away from them. And it's really hurtful. I'm there wounded. My arms all messed up. I do landscaping, and right now I can't do any landscaping because I'm hurt, I'm injured. And to the police, they could care less.
Once again, allegations of police brutality, and it is on YouTube. With that, I'm Wes Small with another News Channel 8 exclusive.
And we want to thank David Canton for his interview today. Well, now the Virgin Islands Police Department has responded to those allegations. Here's News Channel 8's Wes Small, who's on the phone with Police Chief Chris Howell.
On St. Patrick's Day, an off-duty police officer was approached by several individuals, female civilians, who complained about a male individual that had been grabbing them inappropriately near the brew pub, bar, and restaurant. The off-duty police officer approached this individual and told him that he would have to leave the establishment. The individual complied with the officer's orders, however, stated that he was coming back, quote, with his boys, end quote. Several minutes later, this individual arrived back at the brew pub restaurant with approximately 7 individuals. Security for the restaurant told this individual that they could not, or these individuals, that they could not come into the establishment. Upon hearing this, one of the individuals, identified as David Canton, responded by slapping the security guard and scratching his face with his fingernails, causing physical injury. At the same time, request for backup was made via police dispatch, and the off-duty police officer came to the aid of the security guard. Upon rendering assistance, the officer identified himself as a police officer, to which Mr. Canton responded, and I will quote, "I do not give a f*** who you are," and punched the police officer in his head. The officer defended himself by landing a single closed fist punch to Mr. Canton, rendering him apparently unconscious for several seconds. Upon backup's arrival, Mr. Canton continued to resist arrest. I've watched the YouTube video of the officers restraining Mr. Canton as he continued to resist arrest. The officers utilized what is referred to as open hand tactics to restrain Mr. Canton. Open hand tactics are sanctioned by the police department as a means of an officer taking a combative person into custody, as well as defending themselves or others. It is considered a means which is less likely to cause injury to an arrestee versus deploying canine, OC spray, baton blows, or taser, which is also all sanctioned by the police department. I do not believe, with the limited information currently in front of me, that the officers acted beyond the scope of their duties in this incident. All uses of force involving police officers are investigated and reviewed to determine if the officer's actions are justified. I have assigned this investigation to a senior lieutenant, and I'll be reviewing the case personally. I'd like to commend the officers involved in this incident for their restraint, and I'd like to publicly condemn the actions of Mr. Canton. Police officers are protected under the same laws of the Virgin Islands as citizens. I am hopeful that this matter will be taken seriously by the Attorney General's office and the Superior Court, and justice will be served.
And we also want to thank Police Chief Chris Howell for his statements today. And in other news tonight, WAPA employees are not happy these days. A protest was held over the weekend on St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small was there.
All right, it's Saturday night, Jerome, and it's around 6:30. Believe it or not, we're still working. This is President Rensford from the United Utilities Union. And WAPA employees are upset. They're upset at the governor, and this is what's going on. President, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, we're here because the governor sent down some edits to the legislature, and we feel like he's infringing a lot on what is going on at WAPA. For one, WAPA does not receive any operating budget from the central government. And we feel like we have already instituted our own austerity measures 4 years ago. And now the governor is demanding that we, bypassing the board and everybody else, he's determining what should happen at WAPA in that instance. And we feel like that is wrong.
You were telling me something off camera, something I didn't know, perhaps most people don't know. Even though you're semi-autonomous, like Juan Louis Hospital and other entities, you don't get any funding from the government at all.
No, we don't get any funding. Actually, we pay into the government, into the central government funds. WAPA pay $500,000 a year in lieu of taxes to the central government. But we don't get funds from the government.
All right. Before we ask you your plans starting tomorrow and Monday, I have to ask you this as a WAPA customer and as a reporter against the deadly LEOC. You know what I'm getting to. Do you have a lot of sympathy out here tonight? Because actually it seems as though you do from the general public from their employees. It seems like they don't have any hostility towards you because of the high bills. You think the customers understand the sympathetic situation of WAPA employees,
Yes,
even with high bills?
Yes, I think they do, because everybody has been hearing all the things that have been going on in terms of what is planned and what's going on. And when we sit and we speak to the people and we explain to them exactly what our position is and why we are as upset as we are upset, the people understand. And we have been getting a lot of encouragement from the general public when we explain to them exactly what's going on. There is one thing that we also want them to understand, the legislator that is that WAPA is 600 strong. And you're talking about 600 votes right there plus the families. So we are going to canvass our votes. So we're asking the legislature to pay attention to what we're asking as citizens.
All right. Well, there you have it. To recap, it's 6:30 on a Saturday night. They're coming out here 4:30 tomorrow, too? Sunday?
No,
Not Sunday, but Monday. And then Tuesday, they're going to march on the legislature. So that's what's going on. They're doing this because they have fear that the governor will start slashing their jobs. Semi-autonomous, totally autonomous. Nonetheless, WAPA employees are upset. At the Sunny Isle Annex, WAPA employees are not happy. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. Well, remember Edna, the woman who broke her leg in 3 places? Edna is trapped on the top floor of her apartment by bureaucracy in the housing department. News Channel 8's Wes Small brings us Edna Part 2.
Thank you very much, Jerome. We are again in Ario Diaz housing community, and you might remember that I made a promise that if Edna wasn't taken care of, that we would be back again. News Channel 8 got a lot of calls about Edna's situation, and I just left the front office at Ario Diaz, Edna. And Miss Noble has now been transferred. She's no longer there, the housing rep for here. Now there are new people there, a new resident manager. She asked that her name not be on camera, but they said that they are definitely working on your situation, and even if you wouldn't mind going to another housing community. Edna, it's been 1 month since we've been here before. I see you here with your ice pack on the other leg. It still takes 6 people to take you downstairs. Therefore, Dr. Pedersen and his staff have not been able to touch you yet. The cast is falling apart. It's dirty. What do you have to say?
I have to say I'm pleading to anybody, the governor, the senators. I need to get downstairs. I need to check this foot. A friend of mine was telling me why I don't drag myself down them steps. I said, remember, this foot can't bend and the other foot is hurting. I can't do no more rest. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Now, they've gotten rid of Miss Noble, the resident manager. I don't know where she's been relocated to. But now more promises are coming from the front office. We would give them time because they've been taken over now for about a week or 2. But now let's see how fast they can get Edna to a downstairs apartment. I will come here again and again until Edna is taken care of. If it takes me doing Edna Part 9, that's what I will do. Now, it's been a month since I was here before, and it won't take a month for me to come back. Today's Monday. I will be back here again next Monday with Edna Part 3 if she has not moved downstairs. And then a week later, I will be back with Edna Part 4 until the powers that be are embarrassed enough to simply relocate this human being to a bottom apartment. In Ario Diaz, it's Edna Part 2. How many parts will it take before she goes downstairs? I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Well, we all hope the best for Miss Edna. And this weekend marked a very special anniversary for the Women's Coalition.
Queen's Quarters Villas was a gala affair on Saturday night as the Women's Coalition celebrated their 30th anniversary. For over 30 years, the Women's Coalition on St. Croix has been helping families and people in distress. In an interview with co-founder Clemma Lewis, in 1981, when the Women's Coalition opened, they were serving 10 to 15 families a year. And over the course of that 30 years, that number has grown now to over 12,000 people that the Women's Coalition helps and sees every month. That includes children, women, and also men's services, which not a lot of people know about. Eddie Russell and the Qual Bay Latin Jazz Band was also on hand to bring in the evening, which included a silent auction, dancing, cocktails, and food catered by Teddy's and Bellows International.
And again, a happy anniversary for the Women's Coalition. And when we come back from this break, we'll take a look at Daddy Yankee in Profit. Stay with us on Channel 8.